Welcome, friends, to another mobile edition. This is actually an office outpost edition of Crime Time with DutyRon. Guys and girls, I'm a retired New York City police detective from the Fugitive Enforcement Division. And if you like all things true crime related from that police detective's perspective, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you'll get all things DutyRon and Ed Wallace when we go live or upload another video. Hey, today I want to talk to you about Bryan Kohberger. We know that he was picked up at 6 a.m. as per Brian Enton from News Nation. He was picked up at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and taken back to Moscow, Idaho. I am saying this is just my guesswork. I'm guessing that he is back there on the ground in Moscow, Idaho, lodged at the Latah County Jail. They have 42 cells, 35 or so of them are occupied. So he is now a new resident in the Latah County Jail. You know, I want to just say a special thank you to you, the subscribers, the Patreon supporters, the channel members, and everybody who positively engages in Crime Time with DutyRon. This is what makes it a great place. And you know what, Tara Ellis, you said it right. They don't waste any time. And I didn't think that there was going to be any time wasted because if you think about it, let's do a quick overview and synopsis. They surveilled him for 4 days, driving across the country back from Pullman, Washington to the Poconos in Pennsylvania. They surveilled him. They received, as we heard yesterday from the press conference, they received warrants to execute on the home of his parents in Pennsylvania. They received a warrant to hit the car, the vehicle, and they executed it. And they executed it flawlessly. They did an unbelievably great TAC plan. They did not have to knock. It was a no-knock search warrant. So they were able to just bust in the front door and bust a couple of windows and go in at 1 or 2 a.m., whatever time they did it. And that was for officer safety and for everyone's safety. So they did what they had to do on this case, and they did it a phenomenal job, and they did it very expeditiously. And now you look at the extradition hearing that he had yesterday, and just a short time later, here we are. He's on the ground in Idaho, presumptively. They picked him up at 6 a.m. as per Brian Enton of News Nation. The process of moving him to Idaho has started. This is just about 8:50 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm reading Brian Enton's text message, basically on Twitter. He was picked up from the Monroe County Jail in Pennsylvania around 6 a.m. and the process of moving him to Idaho has started. I want to say thank you to Gillian for the super sticker. Much love, and I appreciate that. And thank you for becoming a channel member. So again, folks, a gag order was issued on yesterday. A gag order was issued yesterday for the defense, the prosecution, the detectives, and anybody that's involved in the prosecution of this individual, this defendant. Anybody that's involved in the process, it's a gag order. We don't care if it was initiated by who it was initiated, but it was issued by the judge in Latah County. So nobody could speak about it. Nobody could talk. Nobody could give information. It is a court order. U.S. Marshals, the Idaho State Police, Moscow Police Department, and possibly the FBI picked him up. I get a lot of questions into DutyRon.com, like who picked him up? Who brought him back home to Idaho? In my experience in the fugitive enforcement team, in the fugitive squad, my experience is that we pick him up. We pick him up. The authority who issued the warrant has to be there to pick him up. So that means Moscow, Idaho Police Department was there. I would believe that the U.S. Marshals for the extradition process, and Idaho State Police. The more the better. As you see, the more the better when it comes to this stuff. And at the end of the day, folks, I got to tell you, safety is paramount. We saw in Pennsylvania. We saw the court officers and the state police with the heavy weapons. I don't know, by a show of hands in the chat, did you guys see the heavy weapons that were employed in the movement just going from the courthouse, from the jail to the courthouse in Monroe County? It was an impressive show of force. You had multiple guys with long guns with the rifles. Hey, Soul for Music, good to see you. Tracy Rojas, thank you for joining. Just let me know by a show of hands who watched that. Hey, I got a small clip. This is from yesterday, and I want Josh to play it. This is, a little dated. It's just about 12 hours old. But this is going to explain what, fast forward to today, what we're looking at here. And they are talking about what's going to happen today. And where I, like I said, fast forward, we're here and we're at that. So let's play this little piece. It's a couple of minutes. Thank you, Josh.
Well, as we do wait for Kohberger to land in Idaho, his lawyer says the 28-year-old is eager to be exonerated. It should not be tried in court, not be tried in the court of public opinion. We are also waiting for a key document, that sealed probable cause affidavit, because it could have crucial information linking Kohberger to the 4 murders. Correspondent Nancy Liu joins us live now from Moscow, Idaho, with more on the next steps in this case. Nancy.
And Nicole, when Kohberger is transported, he's expected to be brought here to the Latah County Jail, which is in the basement of the county courthouse building, and it is less than 2 miles away from where he allegedly killed 4 students on November 13th. According to the Latah County Sheriff's Department, the local jail accommodates just 42 inmates, and the cells are right below the county courthouse. The library features a selection of books, a pull-up bar, and dip bar. That and the small rec yard are constantly monitored, and inmates are allowed an hour a day in either or a combination of both. Soon after authorities announced Kohberger's arrest and the murders of Kaylee Gonsalves, Maddie Mogan, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin, County Prosecutor Bill Thompson addressed the next steps.
Once he gets here, he'll have an initial appearance with our magistrate. They'll deal with issues such as making sure competent counsel is representing him, and the case will be scheduled for further hearings.
Should Kohberger be brought back through the Pullman-Moscow Regional Airport, it's just a 10-minute drive to the jail. News Nation saw a food delivery this morning at the facility, and a few items would work with Kohberger's vegan diet. Search warrants executed after the Friday arrest resulted in a lot of new evidence from Kohberger's apartment. Authorities also searched his office on the Wazoo campus, the Kohberger home in Pennsylvania, and the white Elantra driven cross-country. In building their case, law enforcement continues to seek tips about Kohberger, urging people to call or email Moscow police.
Come forward. Call the tip line. Report anything you know about him to help the investigators and eventually our office and the court system understand fully everything there is to know about not only the individual, but what happened and why.
And as we heard from Bryan, the probable cause affidavit, it won't be unsealed until Kohberger arrives back in Idaho. We heard in court in Pennsylvania that his Idaho public defender is Ann Taylor. She's actually based up in Coeur d'Alene in Kootenai County. So we are awaiting details on where exactly he'll be arriving, but the charges he faces are here in Latah County, 4 counts of first-degree murder.
Thank you for watching. Go to News Nation.
Thank you, Josh. I appreciate that. We got a lot of information out of that piece. We talked about the Idaho Public Defender's Office. Ann Taylor is a public defender, and I'm assuming that she is a specialist in capital murder, because this is, and it meets all of their criteria for a capital murder case. So Ann Taylor, I'm sure, is a part of the capital murder defenders team up in Kootenai County, Idaho, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, talking about Connor Love. Thank you. Happy New Year to you and the missus. Thank you. Happy New Year's to you, and good things to you and yours. Czar, thank you so much. Jillian, I'm not even going to attempt it. I said thank you before, but thank you for the $32.99 in the Czar currency. I appreciate that. Yeah, she's from the public defender's office. She's going to be representing him. And if she's not directly working for the public defender's office, they contract these defenders out when it comes to a capital murder case. So now here's the thing. He stands, he's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. He has 4 felony first-degree murder charges against him. He also has a 1 burglary charge, a felony burglary charge. So that's 5 felonies against him. He's innocent until proven guilty. I think they have a really good case. And somebody said that in the chat. How do I feel about the case? I feel like they wouldn't have brought these charges forward if they didn't have a good case. We're going to talk tonight with a forensic genealogist. She's got lots of years of experience in forensic genealogy, and Dr. Colleen Fitzpatrick from identifinders.com. She's going to be joining us tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. And the reason I wanted to come live and do this little preview is that we're going to talk tonight in no uncertain terms about forensic genealogy. And we know from in the past that this case was brought to this point due to the fact of forensic genealogy. And Ed Wallace and myself, from the get-go, from day 2 of covering this case, we told you guys that the case was going to be solved on forensic science. And true to the form, this case is in the process right now, and the wheels of justice are moving because of the forensic science, because of the computer forensics, and the science. It got solved due to the science. And we're going to talk to her about that tonight. We're going to go into genealogy and all things DNA related. So what I want you guys to do is go over to DutyRon.com and put in questions for tonight's show. Keep those questions for 8 p.m. Eastern, and you're going to be redirected to tonight's show from here. But keep your questions related to the blood and DNA evidence that potentially was removed. And there is news reports that they spoke in the past. They did speak that there was for a DNA match, a forensic match from the perpetrator in custody right now, from this defendant. I know people don't like that I call them perps, but this defendant, his DNA is matched to this crime scene. Okay. And that was not, this is not my words. This is what's been reported. Let me say thank you to Jane Brackett for becoming a channel member. And Brandy H says, thank you for always bringing us the latest updates. Thank you for that. The judge definitely issued a gag order. Nina MC, he issued a gag order. And I want to tell you that all of the professionals, the law enforcement, the prosecutor's office, the defense attorneys, and all of the investigators that's involved in this case, I could tell you this, 100 gazillion %, they are not going to violate this order, okay? This order stands for the pros that are prosecuting this case and the pros that are defending the case, okay? We could talk up and down till the sun comes down, up and down. We could talk about this as much as we want. That gag order is for the professionals because they have inside information that we are not privy to. And that if that inside information was to get out, you could jeopardize the wheels of justice and the motion, of the court to move forward. So I'm so happy that the FBI and the Idaho State Police and the Moscow Police Department all worked collectively, because without the work of the science, the CSI guys and girls, without the Idaho State Police and their lab, we heard the police chief and the captain early on say, we immediately called the Idaho State Police. That was the best thing that they did, because they wouldn't have been able to process this very, very complex material, the DNA and so forth. We're going to get into it tonight with a doctor, Dr. Colleen Fitzpatrick. And I want to say thank you to you, the viewers, because you guys sent in on DutyRon.com. I forwarded to Ed Wallace. It was from one of our users, one of the subscribers, and I want to publicly thank that subscriber. She sent in the suggestion to DutyRon.com to get Dr. Colleen Fitzpatrick on. And again, she's a forensic genealogist. She's a smart woman. She knows everything about this stuff. We're going to talk about the DNA Doe project that she runs and all of the things that she does to help solve these crimes and to bring justice for these, for these families, and also to help find missing and loved ones that are that have gone missing. So she does a lot of great work, and it's not just limited to the criminal side. So I'm excited about that tonight. Send in your questions to DutyRon.com so Ed Wallace and myself can ask these tough questions. Hey, by a show of hands in the chat here, who would be interested in getting another couple of, I want to send out 10 more memberships. So by a show of hands here, you got to be subscribed to the channel. You have to, accept these gifts in your account. If you're not accepting membership gifts, then you won't be able to get it. Put a 1 in the chat if you want a free membership. It's 30 days. It gives you a chance to try it out, go around, look at all the stuff that Ed Wallace and I put up. Put a 1 in the chat if you're interested in that, and make sure that you have your settings set to accept gifts. So I'm going to do that real quick. Let's see how many people are putting 1s in the chat. A lot of people are. All right. I hope everyone has their settings set correctly so you can accept memberships. I'm going to send out 10 more. So that's a total of 20 on this live stream. If you're already a member, it doesn't work. You can't become a member twice. So it's for those of you who are not members at this time. So good luck and congratulations to everybody. All right. Let me roll back to what we were talking about. Latah County Jail. It's underneath the courthouse. All right. Latah County has only got 42 cells capacity. They can only hold 42 prisoners. I think they were right around 33 or 35 or something around there. So they had plenty of room for Bryan Kohberger. They talked about getting some provisions bussed in or shipped in. I think we saw on that piece that they had provisions for vegan provisions. Some of you guys are outraged by that. Cecilia Mathis, thank you for the $10 super chat. She says, will the gag order keep the arrest affidavit sealed? Thank you, DutyRon. It may very well keep that sealed. I'm not really, I'm going to say this, and this will be probably not a popular thing. I don't want to see the rest. I don't want to see the probable cause affidavit if it hurts the case. I'm all for the case going forward and getting either a guilty verdict or a not guilty verdict. But we hope for a guilty verdict in this case because we hope and pray that they have their guy. And according to the police chief, they have the one and only suspect, the one and only perpetrator in this crime. He is in handcuffs and he is in custody. And he happened to be driving a white Elantra that they were looking for across the United States from Washington to Pennsylvania. And it happened when they put out the call. If you guys remember, on December 7th is when we started hearing about this white Elantra, right? December 7th. They got stopped on December 15th. That means Bryan Kohberger hung around Pullman, Washington, and Moscow, Idaho. We don't know where he went from the date of the murders, November 13th, till December, what? Maybe they got on the road the 13th or the 14th, but we don't know what he did, right? We don't know where he was. Did he show up at some of the candlelight vigils? Did he show up at places around town? Again, thank God nothing happened, but that's troubling in itself to think about that this guy was able to move freely about, the county and surrounding areas, putting everybody and anybody that he came into contact in danger. because who knows if this guy wanted to kill more. So the thing of it is, I'm glad he's in custody. I'm glad he's locked down and he's put in the cage underneath the ground at the Latah County Jail. That to me is a good thing. But like I said, I'm not in a rush to hear about this probable cause affidavit if it's going to hurt this case. Who the hell wants to hurt this case? All we want to do is see justice served, and we want it to be served quickly, and we want it to come down swiftly, and we want them to have all of their ducks in order and all their evidence in order. And I'm telling you, tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you are not going to want to miss this, because Ed Wallace is going to be, holding court tonight with another a forensic genealogist. It's going to be, for me, a fascinating a night to just listen to this. Rachel B, thank you for the member. She says, thanks for the memberships and for all your hard work. Thank you. I hope you, after the 30 days are over, consider continuing with your memberships. That's the hopes that we do. We hope to, get people to give you a little bit of a 30-day test run and see what we do here on Crime Time with DutyRon. And hopefully you guys will all hang around. But anyways, I want to just, again, say that it's really, really, for me, it's comforting to know that there's quite a few people that have to eat a full big piece of humble pie when, people were saying that this was never going to get solved and so forth. Listen, Ed Wallace and I are critical of evidence collection and how certain things went. But at no time were we ever not confident in the science and in the investigators that were doing this and processing this crime scene in the most professional way. And really all it takes is that one little piece. And to get that piece of evidence with hair or fibers or saliva or blood or anything that was collected at that scene, now coming back and matching straightforward, matching to our suspect, our defendant, who is innocent until proven guilty, that's in custody. It's a good thing. It's a good day. Josh, if you're still here with me, let me know, because I want to replay that little piece that we played, and then I want to wrap it up if you are still here. I know Josh is always busy, but if he's not still here, then we'll just watch the replay on this. We played a little bit of a piece. Cindy, thank you so much for being here. And I want to say hi to everybody who's joining. Mama Griffin, good to see you. Thank you. Yeah, Discord is a whole different thing. Trudy with the booty, good to see you. Thank you. You and Ed are great, says Jason Bowman. Thank you. Thank you. Kitten 678. Cindy Hollenbeck, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. You guys are awesome. And for those of you who have given super chat and that I might have missed, I apologize. It gets crazy with the way the chat goes. The chat goes crazy. James ML, always good to see you. Debbie Lynn, thank you for joining. Black Rose 11, one of the great mobs here. Everybody who has joined, I appreciate it. I just want to make sure I covered everything. So Bryan Kohberger picked up at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time from the Monroe County Jail in Idaho. And as I said yesterday, flown back probably, via aircraft. As we know, you can't drive somebody across the United States safely 2,500 miles when you're talking about inclement weather along the route. It's just not a good thing. They did it under the early darkness cover of the early morning hours, and they did it stealth. And now he's back in Idaho to face these charges. So I want to say thank you. All of the things about the scratches and the scratches on his wrist and stuff like that everybody's going crazy with. I would just say this: don't waste your time on stuff like that, because what they have against him evidence-wise is going to outweigh anybody that's going to, highlight or enhance a photo just to make somebody go, ooh. I don't really waste my time, because that time is time that you can never get back. Follow the law enforcement. Follow what is being what's going to be put out once this trial moves forward, but don't follow stuff that unknown sources are putting out and that people from the internet. Listen, fake book is called Fake Book for a reason. FAKEBOOK. Because so much stuff that's put out there and on TikTok and all these other platforms are things to just lead you down rabbit holes and just make you go crazy. So do yourself a favor. Look at what is being put out by, people that are thinking clearly, and I think you'll be okay. But if you want to go down those rabbit holes and that's the stuff that you want and need, then go for it. But I definitely don't do it. I won't do it. It's bullcrap. It's if I had my little bleep machine, I'd be hitting the crap out of it right now. I'd be like beep 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 beep. Yeah. So take all those pictures and all those people that spend hours looking at his hands and shadows and marks and say to yourself, I got better things to do with my time. I got better things to do with my time. So anyways, much love and respect. Tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. Send your questions to DutyRon.com. I love you guys. I respect yous. And I thank you, everyone, for joining. As I always like to end these things, God bless the world. God bless the United States of America. And God bless each and every one of us here in the chat. But especially these 4 victims and their families. We send strength, prayers, and positive vibes to all of our victims and all of the community and all of our police and all of the people who are involved in bringing justice. Justice not only for these families, but justice for America. So thank you for everybody joining. I'll see you tonight with Ed Wallace. It's going to be the Ed Wallace show. Tonight, he's going to be running all of the questions for the doctor. Send in your questions on DutyRon.com. I'll see you then. Peace and love.